Hello, everyone. So, today we will be working on our next challenge, which is creating a sign up screen. A sign up screen is a section or a page of the app where user creates a new account by providing the necessary information. So, I just said necessary information. What would be that necessary information for us to figure out that part? We need to know what is the purpose of creating that screen. So I defined a whole scenario for myself, which is create a sign up screen for an educational platform which offers boot camps and courses to the students. So now we know what kind of information will be asked for to the users. If you choose to create a screen for banks, some elements in sign up screens are same, some forms. So I have tried to keep it generic, but if you go and check the whole onboarding screens in detail, you will find that this information varies on what app you're designing for. So, keeping that in mind, I went ahead and on Movin and checked some content. So, before looking at this content, what I did was I went on Movin. So, in for this video's sake, I only checked Movin, but there are other platforms like Movin. You can explore, and I wrote down sign up. It's giving me an option to show me the screen, so I'm gonna see them. So this particularly, these screens that we are seeing are for iOS, iPhone design. I think they have removed the Android. Okay, that's unfortunate. And then there is like a web version. So you can explore both, honestly, but you can explore whatever screen you like, and you can even explore some other elements like by choosing the categories. So I choose education. We have that. So there are some these apps. If any of these have access, like free access, you can check their onboarding flows, and you can also look for elements like if you're looking for inspiration that you want text field. So you can find some screens like this. So there are different ways you can search up things. So by doing that research, I first made the list of content that will be going on my screen. Because for this video, I wanted to focus on getting inspiration from different screens and then combining them on one screen. So you are going to run into a situation very soon in which you are like, I like the form fields of this app, but I don't like the buttons, but I like the buttons of another app, but the forms I don't prefer. So how do we combine them? Like, how would we choose to combine them? So let's get started. So in the content, all of the apps I explored had a logo, and sometimes a logo was combined with their tagline too. So made up a company, Speed, and ED is making ED bigger for education. So if I need to use this word somewhere, I can. Uh, then heading. So there is always an heading. Most of the time it was create an account, but there were other variations. So I chose for this video to be, the simplest one. Then there were input fields. So here is one where I had to decide what I want to do for this video. So usually sign up screens are not alone, means they're not just one screen. So for this, to explore this, I would like you guys to download Duolingo and see how sign up process works. So to not overwhelm users, they divide this whole process of getting the information from the user on different screens. Like they will ask the name on a different screen, then passwords on the different screens, then email or phone number on a different screen. So for this video specifically, because we are only on day two, I did not go that way. So I had to dig in to find some information from different screen. So most of the time they were asking for the names in educational platforms. So let's connect why we are adding this information in educational platform. So if I want to enroll a student in my uh, for my courses, I will ask their name, and then I will ask for their phone number. And when I was exploring that, will the email be enough? The fun thing came up, like in Pakistan, most people who do not attend universities or have like already have a job, they don't use their emails. Means if I do contact them, they are not gonna see them for the enrollment purpose initially. So they might miss some important information or emails that I send them. So there should be an option of choosing between email and phone number. So this was a interesting take I found out. Then an option to apply the password means when you are asking them to create an account, it is for such platforms. Usually they come up, they have uh, payments, some sort of like subscription model or paid courses. So there needs to be a password, and then there were like actions of signing up and signing in, and then there are some check boxes if you want to uh, you know okay, previously I was going for lighthouse, but then I decided to go for speedx. I found this name somewhere, lighthouse being used. So yeah. Okay, so some sort of check boxes. There were more than one for, but for this video, I'm deciding to, choose to go with this one checkbox, and let's see how this turns out. Then I went ahead and find an icon. So usually when you are working with a client or a company, you will get a logo, and if you're working as a graphic designer, you will create a logo. But for this video and the practice purposes, you can go on any platform like Icons 8 or Free Pick and find yourself an icon. So I found myself an icon. This is an SVG, means I can alter the colors. And then I went ahead and chose you know typography font, s- like in which I will be designing on. So these videos are made you sorry, are here that I'm creating to have you guys, a checklist or a sort of a process on what things you need to have, and what things you can experiment with, and what are the things that you cannot change, or what are the things that you have to have before you jump right into the designing. So we needed to have some stuff. So it was a logo and then a font in which we will be working with. And this is a Google font, and this is interesting because you can simply go here and there is a drop down in Figma, and you can choose the fonts that, all fonts or just Google fonts. So Google fonts come installed. You can choose this one, and you can also install your own font. So instead of going to that route, I figured we can go Google fonts. So this was interesting, pretty readable. Just to tell you more about why I chose to go with this. So I find it that it is very modern and it's very readable, which is in an educational platform, readability is going to matter a lot, legibility and readability. So it is pretty modern too. Like it is not very boring. So I went ahead. Then I explored what colors I wanted to work with. So I simply went ahead here and check, like this is one way of checking. So what I did was I checked some educational platforms. So they were coming in this blue line. But then I use Duolingo like a lot, and I love its green vibe. It's very playful and very interactive and honestly very attractive. So I wanted to explore a color in this range. So I checked dribble, So Dribble has this ability where you can find things. So let's say color palette. I'm just searching for few colors, something. You can even write educational platforms and something. So it honestly shows you some good stuff in the first search too. What I want to show is this. So I went ahead, click on these filters, and here it gives me the option to choose a color. So there are like good green colors. I can just click on them and see how they are being used. So you see this green. So I checked a few palettes and I'm like, okay, this looks reasonable. So what I took screenshots and brought them and adjusted the colors if I needed. So this is the whole process you are going to do. Just like something and see if you can use it. If not, then adjust it. Easy peasy. So like you can see this has some amazing combinations like this. So I wanted to show you in use how they have used the color. So this is what I had in mind. I took a few screenshots and what I did is I decided what colors I will be needing. So when I was exploring, going back to this, when I was exploring these pages, so I'll go in again on sign up screen and then I'll choose the category. And you see, I just analyzed what colors I will be needing. So this background has a color, this logo has a color. I'm gonna need a few variations of black, and then I'm gonna need some variations of links, like the color that I use for the link. So this is I listed down, and then I made those colors. So a background color, a color which is the darkest, like for the headings, so I chose this one, and then there is another color which is for colors. Sorry, headings are usually paired with supporting text or something, so they have different colors. So I needed another color, a tertiary color, because you can see here is a version where we are using disable text, and also in other inspirations that I saw fourth color in being used for the black. So yeah, actually I forgot where it was, but yeah, I saw four colors, so I figured I create four of them. And for text color, so text by text color I decided, like, you can see it has a tint of green in it, but you can have some variations of gray in it. So I'll break it down how I change the colors to make primary, secondary, and tertiary text in a minute. And then I decided the brand color. Since I like the green, I changed it a little bit from the Duolingo green. It was rather sour green Duolingo, so I wanted to make it more mature. So this is what I got. And then I wanted a light color. So again, when we see these, actually what, I'll show you how. So when I'm exploring these screens, since I said that you can explore these and like that, oh, I like this input field, but I don't like this button, or I like this input field and this button. So this is what I did. So I found this button that I loved. This is from an application, Wise, WISE. It was using the green in very cool way. So this is what I did. I figured that I can use my green in this way, because on zooming in, I realized that this is green, but the text color they are using is also green tinted. So that's why my text colors are also green tinted. And yeah, this is all I did. And of course, this primary color, uh, I think this is same. Let me check. Yeah, I this color I'm using the dark version here too to see that this is the same as the text. I just place them here based on what I think I will be needing. Now I have to figure out if in the process, if I need more or if I have to get rid of few of them. So just to explain this text colors. So what you can do is, so this is the line for the grays, the pure grays. So I was here and in HSP mode, I was here. So by default, you will probably start here, means 0, 0, and some variation of brightness. And we definitely don't want to go below 15 in brightness because it's too black. And you can see this is pure black. But when I saw the very thing that they are doing in Wise, I loved that because they were using some tint of green in this black. So what I just did is that I moved here, and when I move here, I'm changing the hue each value. So in my case, I went up to 144, and it just adds a little bit black to it. Sorry, green to the black. Now again, so this was just to remind you. Okay, I forgot to enter it. 144, and this was, sorry, this was adding a green, and then green, it's like green has to be added when we move the cursor in this line. So we are on 0 position, and I added 100% of green. So now I have to enter and save it. Now it is green. And again, to show you HSP values, so 144 is for green, 100 is for how much green, and 17 is from brightness. So to make this lighter, I just a hue stays the same. I reduce the saturation. From this far, I came it like to make it look more gray. I came this far, and I also messed up with the brightness by 20 points. So now from this point, I came here. So we just a few details on how we can make the palette. This video is not about creating the palette. You can use the same hex codes that I'm using in this video for practice. For now, we will definitely touch base on this later. But this was an important detail. You can start exploring it in direction in. So yeah, and I found out some stuff that I need to add in the screen. So when I was exploring again, you see these elements and these bottom elements. So this is iPhone design. So iPhone has this, but if you explore or use uh, Android, you will see that Android bottom navigation, its own native navigation is it looks like this. So status bar and navigation, these are for Android design. I will be focusing on Android design, but if you want to design for iOS, you can use this sort of bottom navigation with the home line at the bottom. And then, since taking you guys back, we needed input fields and actions. For actions, we will be needing buttons. So this is button inspiration, and this is link inspiration. Links are touchable, means buttons. So I added them in the same screenshot, and then the inputs. So I'm gonna tell you guys that just pause the video here and find your self inspiration, and you know, you can copy the hex codes from here, or even you can look for the inspirations for these. So for that, like colors too, like if you decide to choose this screenshot, you can pick up the colors from this. But I will say not to recreate the same screen for this particular practice, because I want you guys to mix and match. And in the meanwhile, when you're done, we'll reach on the next step. So since we are mixing and matching, you can go ahead and sketch on copy. I highly encourage that. I did that first. It was just not very presentable, so I figured I can show you what I plan to do here. So I didn't add any text, but still, I hope you guys can see what is doing, because this is the like lowest level of fidelity you can go with. So this is the top navigation, sorry, status bar. So I'm gonna need that. Then a button to close this page. Then a heading, a supporting heading, and some form fields. And then a button and Android navigation. Now, looking at this, I gathered all the icons that I needed. Just to quickly touch base on that, what I did is I went on fonts fonts.google.com, and they have the icons, or you can simply write material icons, and it's going to show you Google Fonts website, and it's going to take you there, and you can simply write what you're looking for. So let's find this one out, battery again. So you're going to write battery, and you will find different variations of it. I wanted my battery to be half filled, so I clicked on this one. You can change the color anything you want, like let's say white, and you can simply copy this. This copying will bring you SVG version, or you can simply download the SVG. And I want this to be in downloads, and I downloaded it, or copy it. Let's do both. So if I copied it again from here, and yes, to be just to make sure, you need to bring the icons in 24 size, not bigger than this. So let's copy it, and you're just gonna paste it where you want. So it will name it frame by default. We can change it, but another thing you can do is from here, you bring something. So you want to import something. Yeah, from this button, you can also click Control Shift K. It's gonna take you to your downloads, and you can this last icon that I downloaded. And yep, now this has a longer name, battery for like this particular name that came from here. So you can rename it clicking on this, and you can you should try to name them properly. So this is an icon. So I'm gonna write icon, and then I'm gonna write battery. It's giving it a slash creates a folder when we export it, and it's easier to find with the same name. So you can kill the two birds with one stone. So you can also copy the name and paste it here. You can also edit the name by clicking on the side panel under layers section in Figma. So this is all you have to do. So you can bring all the icons that you need. So here I have named them properly, and now I'm gonna select all of them. Just okay. So they should all be in 24 width and 24 height for starters. And I'm just gonna lock the aspect ratio, because I have run into situation where this resizes badly when this is in component. And here I'm gonna find this beautiful icon of four squares. It says create a component. Since we want to have separate components for all of these, so I'm going to choose the second option, which is create multiple components. So it will turn all of these into separate icons. So fun. So you can do this step, and then we will get right into actually creating the screen. So our next step, like after we have gathered everything we want to do, I will place my screen right next to it. So I have chosen a screen size. So from here, this button, you can bring the frame, or you can click F on the screen. So and then go in mobile design, and here you can choose any screen, but I have chosen 390 width screen, and I'm gonna place right next to it, so we can, yeah, I think it will be a good place to start. And I'm gonna name this design. Mm, no, I should name it, it's sign up screen. So yep. Now what we have to do is start from the start, simple as it is. So right now we have our icons placed right next to wherever we are working on. But still, if we ignore that, let's say, you can find your assets from here. So here, what you're gonna do is search for. Uh, I need these icons, so I'm gonna go search for battery. So I just wrote down battery. And if I'm not sure what I'm looking for, since I added the prefix of icon, I added that, so it will show all of the icons there. And I'm going to drag and drop all of them. And I have made a mistake. I just realized that. So I'm gonna control X and I'm gonna bring this here. So you see the problem? I want my screen background to be white and I kept my icons all uh, white. And I want to change the color to this darker one. So you can have a separate setup for the icon, like separate color for the icons as you need. But right now I'm seeing that all of them will be in a darker color. So I'm gonna give them, we can definitely go back and change them. So I changed the original component that I made. And to show you guys, I need to change the background color. So yeah, you can see these colors are darker and this automatically updated my um, list of sorry, my variant. So any copy I make of these icons is a variant. You can simply click on this, press Alt and make a copy. You will see the change in the icon. So we need to use the copies, not the actual component. Remember that. And now we don't know where we want to place it. Simple. Like that's a simple problem we gonna see. So what do we do? So there is an option to have a layout guide, and I'm gonna choose columns. And for mobile, 4 or 6 is a good number to play with. So let's start with 4 because I don't see any complication in this screen, which I need to divide things horizontally. So we can work with 6. You can also change the color of the grid, and we need to have margins. So margins are same that you used to have in your homework copies, like the some space from the sides. And margins for mobile, it's good to play with the 16. 16 is a good number. Never go less than 16, because it makes things hard to touch on the sides. But you can also explore 20, 22, and 24. And this screen doesn't have a lot of information. I have a lot of space to play with. So maybe 24. So gutters can be less than margins. So for this particular screen, this is a small screen. I think 16 will be enough. And again, I see that I won't be needing the gutters. Gutters are the spaces between these columns. Why would they won't be this? Again, you if you refer to your sketch, you see there is no horizontal spacing needed for this particular screen. So let's not overthink it. And we have applied our grid. Now we know where we want to place this everything. And what we have to do is just place it here, here. And I'm going to use multiples of 4 to, do the spacing. And this looks good. If I'm not sure, I can always go and look in my inspiration how much spacing they have given. So if I consider that there was a padding around this icon, so I think they placed 4. 4 is very less, very, I think very short. So I am choosing to go with 12 for now and see what happens. And as you can see here, we need the time. Now, now we need this, our supply and sound. So I'm just gonna copy this text and I'm gonna place it here. I'm gonna give it the same color of my um, icon, and I'm gonna, what's the time? Now I have to make it small, and let's make it so text never should be smaller than 12. If you are not sure, then you can always go back to your inspiration and place things on the top of it or right next to it and see what size they are using. So they are using sort of, okay, no 0. They are using a little bit of semi bold version. So I'm gonna cut it, paste it, paste to replace this one. And this. Now I'm not sure of what should, like, how do I find out the distance from this and this. So you can explore. I will leave it to you guys to again check for the screenshots and place a box on the top of 2 or 3 screens and see how much of a place they have given. So when I explored, I saw that they were giving this place for about 48 and 50 points. Like in different screens, I found like 48 and 52. So I'm gonna go ahead with 52. Now, what I have to just do is simply make a rectangle around these elements, and while resizing it, I want to press Control so it doesn't mess up with anything. And I want to place it at the top. It's very big in height by default, 64, and I'm gonna resize it to 52. Now this is not center aligned, so I'm gonna select all of these and place them here. Like I'm gonna select, I am pressing Alt on my screen and clicking them in center. So place them vertically in center. So that's why I place them in center. But in my inspiration, there are small details I want you guys to look for. Is that there is more space on the top and lesser on the bottom. Same rule, because the margins need to be have little more space. So I'm gonna go I think a few 4 points extra on the top, and yep, this is my whole status bar ready. So I'm just making sure that my screen size is 390. Then this element should also be 390, and the height, as I said, I would want to be 52. So I am calling it status bar. So we have one element. Right now I'm not touching base on auto layout, but you can explore the auto layout and everything you want to. I will use auto layout eventually when I think we can't avoid it, but I think for now we can work around that. Now I need this. So previously I bought my icon from asset panel. Now I'm gonna just alt and copy this element and bring it here. Here is a tricky part. So you need to always make sure that the element you are bringing is right where you need it. For that, like if I place the button here, look where it is located. So this is my sign up screen separately closed. If I open it, there is one element status bar in it, and this icon is not in it. So if I use my arrows to bring it here, it looks like it is in my screen, but in the layers panel, I will see that it is not. So usually when you run into this issue, you will find out that when you play the screen, we are gonna let it load. Yep. And you will see that the X button is not here. So I need this X button to be here. So usually what we do is just bring it out and then drag it inside. And when these red lines appear with this grid that we have set up, it means it's already in the screen, but you can still verify it from the side. And make sure you have not placed it in any other element. Like for myself, if I drag it on the top of here, I run into issue that it was dragged within this element, and this will, when I use arrows to move it, it will cause it to hide, because this screen within the status bar section of the screen, it has clip content applied to it. So there are a few details you need to consider when you are working with this. Now now comes the fun part. So this area, like this element is Android. We didn't talk much about it in detail, but here on this screen, when I'm adding anything, it will be clickable. Sorry, we need to figure out if this will be clickable or not. So will this X be clickable? Yes, we want user to be able to close this page to go the page behind below, sorry, before it. So this cannot be just an icon, because in Android design, we need to have at least 48 by 48 touch area. How do we do that? So I'm gonna add a frame around it. So for that, I'm just gonna click right and then I'm gonna find Control Alt G shortcut or frame selection. A frame is added around it and I'm gonna call it a button and I'm gonna call it icon only. So here it's still 2424 and now you can do it. What you can do is just to apply Shift Alt or just auto layout from here, or you can just change its dimensions. So in the dimensions, I went ahead and changed. I locked the aspect and then made it 48. So its height and width both are 48. If you guys can't see it, I'm gonna give it a fill from my colors. So it right now doesn't have any fill, and I'm thinking if we can make it a little bit gray. No, I don't like it. Mm. Okay, this stands out a lot, so maybe here we we needed another color in the very beginning, so we'll add it later. So, and this button I can align in center, and yeah, since I have chosen a design in which I want things to have rounded corners, so I can later come back and see if we want to change the color. So if I don't forget, I'm gonna leave myself a comment here just in case. So yeah, we added this button with a touch area. You can also explore different variations of icons only button. They can have borders, they can have a slight shadow around them, inner shadow or outer shadow, anything. So right now I'm just going with fill and see how this turns out. Now, again, I'm gonna copy Control C this text and Control V another paste and paste it in the screen outside this. So what one of the best practices with text is not to add text from scratch each time you are adding the text. Means just copy the text you have once added. So it keeps the default settings. You can change the sizings and everything. So when you have not saved your typography scale here in Figma as a sticker sheet, it is convenient to keep the consistency. So I think this habit has helped me a lot. Now I need to have a heading. This indicates heading. So what was the heading that we decided? I'm gonna run back here and see. Yeah, heading was create an account. Okay. You need when you're copy pasting this a text from one place to other, keep the formatting of this text. You click Control Shift and V. It keeps the formatting. So I have added. I'm not messing up with anything. I'm just keeping the size and the weight and everything, but just adding the text. I want to add a copy under it for the supporting text, and honestly right now I don't have anything in mind, so I'm gonna drop its hierarchy by making it this, and making the weight lighter from semi bold to regular, and I'm writing lorem ipsum. I can come back to it later. Lorem ipsum, what's the third word for lorem ipsum? Lorem ipsum generator. There is a website which helps you generate a few words. So I want at least 10 words. So this is the copy. Just gonna copy these 5 words. Actually, 5 is more than enough. And full stop. This is to indicate the supporting text for now. And right now, I'm not creating any hierarchy. Like we don't know how much things we gonna add and what they're gonna size. So I'm not messing up with everything. Right now, I don't have typography scale. Let's keep it like this. But to be sure, you never go in typography, never go below 14. Sorry, 12 size means 12 is the extreme smallest limit you can choose in the size. So what I want to test is my text is always readable. So I'm going to zoom into 100%. 100% is this is the size. that user will be looking our screen at in their mobile. Is this readable? If it is not at 14, we can go with 16. So it means that 14 and 16s are good numbers to play with when we are choosing what should be the size of our text at smallest level. So we want this to be always visible. So I'm keeping it at 16. You can see whatever font you are using. Sometimes it is very good at 14, like very readable and clear at 100%. And also, this decision also depends on what kind of audience we are serving. Right now, I'm keeping in mind that all of the people who will be coming for the courses will be young, so have good eyesight. So that's why this. So now, to make things easy, I'm gonna copy this input inspiration that I have, and I'm gonna place it here. So this is 413 width, that's why we can't see it, but I don't want to resize it any small because I want to see how much of the sizing is, sorry, what is the sizing they're using for everything. So I want to test again, coming back to what I want to add: name, email address, and password. So I want a name. So we can divide the names in the first and the last name, or we can ask them to write the full name. So what I want to do is just have full name, because for this screen I'm adding everything on one screen. I don't want to have two sections for the name. This is just one decision. You can have a lot of factors, so consider them. Right now my concern is that there will be 3 to 4 fields. So if I break the names into 2 fields, it means I'm just adding another extra scrolling to the screen. So I just wrote down full name. Just want to check sizing. Size is good because they are using 16, but it is a little bit fat, so I'm gonna go with semi bold. Here, since I in the typography heading, like here I'm just using two weights right now, regular, and when I want something to stand out, I'm making it a little bold. So when I was checking this font, I did not like much very bold, like full bold version. So maybe it's something in me. So I usually prefer semi bolds. Most of the contexts have semi bold better than bold. That's why I'm choosing this. But you will find a few fonts which will have bold style rather better than semi bold. So it's a choice you're making of which size you want to use. And in typography, there is one more detail you have to know, that when you're choosing a font, you need to have at least 5 weights in it. So you can use 3 out of them. So I will be using regular a lot. This screen will not have a lot of variations, but yeah, the other one will, if I choose regular, medium, side by side, it is not very noticeable for a non-designer. So I'm skipping one point and I'm going with semi-bold, regular and semi-bold. So right now we are keeping these 2 weights. We'll try to not use any other weight, but let's see how that turns out. Now, this, as you can see, is regular and it says last name. Oh, sorry, it is it is a placeholder text, means it guides user what they want to do, what they should be doing. So I want my placeholder text to be enter your full legal name. And now I'm thinking this should also be saying legal name. So this is a back and forth kind of situation. You will be checking if something works or not. Now I want to see what is the size of this, because one thing I loved about this form field was its size. So it is 55. I'm assuming multiple of 4, it will be like 56. So I'm gonna move this a little below, and I'm gonna add a rectangle, sorry, frame around it. I'm gonna press F and add add frame around it. So while adding a frame, I'm trying to make sure that I stay within these 4 columns. So as you can see, this moved like a few points. So when I'm resizing my frame, I'm gonna press Control. So nothing inside the screen messes up. Now I want the size to be 54, 56. I'm gonna make the size 56. You can't see this, so I'm gonna add a stroke. Right now, this is the stroke. I'm gonna place it in the middle. You can see the colors are messed up. This is the inspiration is still prettier, but our design is not. But we can cater to that later. Now want to see. I added another rectangle to measure how much of the spacing they are using. So I see 7. I can assume they were using 8. Again, I'm just making sure my spacing and spacing are multiples of 4. So it's okay, it looks good. So I'm gonna move this frame to be 8 point here. And then I'm gonna zoom. I like to zoom into 100% and see how it looks. So there are like a lot of factors with the spacing. Like this font text that I chose is 16, and this is standard trim. Right, I haven't trimmed it vertically, and it has auto line height setup. But if I was doing my project, I will be setting up line height to my own needs. So 19 is definitely not what I was gonna go for. It will be 22 or 20 to 20 maybe. So if I do that, you see the space. I wanted that space, the block from that is coming from the block, 8 points. But now if I go and make it 8, it just increases. So yeah, we have to consider what we are doing right now. So if I decide to go keep 20 line height and see, yeah, it looks reasonable. But I'm just gonna quickly choose all of my 16 size text and make the line height 20. So yep, again align this in center. Now I'm gonna move this below and focus on this. So we have a element of form prepared here, but it doesn't look as fine as it is. So we're gonna notice what is wrong. So here I'm seeing one color, second color, and three colors. So I have the color palette ready. I made 4 variations for this. So I want to see what I can do. So this is the darkest legal name. It needs to be darkest. So since I'm copy pasting the color, the text, it has the same color that I decided to add at the first text. So it won't be an issue if you have changed it for some reason. Go with the darkest here, like make sure you are going with the darkest. Now I'm going to choose the placeholder text, and I'm gonna click this color picker, and I'm gonna try secondary color. It looks very active. I don't want to feel this way. I want to have inactive state. So let's choose this and see if it is readable. So it became very light. Most of the users will read it, but there is going to be a lot of people won't be able to read it. So I think this is better. So this is one screen. I have not already figured out what colors I will be choosing to do what. So now is the time I'm doing that. So I think this looks pretty identical. If I compare this placeholder with this placeholder, it is like these are pure or bluish gray. So we can't exactly compare them, the colors, but still we can see the vibe. Now I'm going to choose this. I'm gonna rename this first. So this is input field, and this border is lighter. So I just saw. So I'm gonna click on this stroke now, and this active. I think this will serve a very good border. Looks good. Now I have to round this. So I can see the roundness is about 8. Again, if you are not sure, you can place a rectangle right on the top of this and start. Okay, we need a bigger one. So start making it round. Okay, this is 11, which means 12. Okay, this also looks good. No, it doesn't. I like maybe 10 is more than enough. So let's go with 10. Means it was 11. It looks good. So I'm gonna stay close with 10. So, sorry, close with 11. So instead of 12, I'm going to choose 10. That definitely does not come in under 4, but still is an even number. Multiples, it's not a multiple of 4. I'm making a lot of mistakes today. Sorry about that. And yep, we have one of the form fields ready. What I'm going to do is select both of them and place a frame around them and call it form, or maybe form input. Right now, form looks good. So this is one thing that I made. Now I don't need this inspiration. I'm just gonna copy. No. This is something you need to understand. This will come handy later. That when you are done making one component and you see it will be coming in use a lot lately, you can create a component of out of it. But this video is not about components, so I'm gonna skip that step. Just making sure this one detail. So these should be aligned. So when I made this frame, just make sure all of this is aligned. This is like within this frame, these both are at 0 point. But when I select this has a random number. Like this spacing from the start is 17, which I don't want. So I want to go with 16, which is, you know what, 16 looks less. I am gonna go with 20. This looks pretty reasonable. So this is just a choice that I'm making. I might well have to change this later. This is again, as I said, this is not a linear process, but right now it looks good. I'm gonna go create. I made a copy, just pressed an Alt and dragged that element. Now, since the spacing between these two was 8, I need to have better spacing between the other two elements. So spacing has this rule, like a neighborhood rule. Like within a home, you will have less spacing between the rooms. So imagine these are different type of rooms which have 8 points distance. Now, two houses that are side by side, they have the walls connected, but the people will have more spacing, distance within them. I'm not using the words in this example. I think the right word would be distance. So they will be more distant, not very close to each other. So I'm gonna definitely go bigger than 8 again. I'm gonna zoom into fit 100% and see if this looks like something, uh, means it is very, is it noticeable difference? So if you're confused because of these lines, you can turn these off from here. So let's see these two form fields. When I'm looking at them, it looks like this distance and this distance is, again, it's sort of same, even though I made this 16 points. So there are like visual details in spacing which we have to consider because of the line. One of the reason is this line height, and you see that this L is a few points away from the top, but G is touching the bottom. So this is near, but this box is causing the spacing to be to look, different than it actually should be. Again, zooming it to 100, I'm gonna increase the spacing. So I'm gonna move 8 point. Yeah, it's now it's noticeable difference. So now these looks like two houses, separate houses with people living in them, rather distant from each other. So what is the next field that I'm supposed to add? I wanted our users to be able to add email or phone number. So email slash phone number, and the placeholder will be enter your phone number. So I need to write email before the phone number. So if you have made one component, fine. It will be very convenient to just make a copy of it. So work harder on the first component and then use copy. Now you can see that 24 spacing is sort of working. Okay, right at this point it is working. Let's not overthink it. Now the third thing that I wanted was a password field. So when I was checking password fields, I would ask you guys to explore too. It had more details. So password, it of course it will have placeholder, enter a password. So here they are adding the password for the first time. It will be like enter a password. If it was a login screen where user already have an account, we would ask them enter your password because they already know have a password. So right now, like this is one detail. There are other variations of this placeholder text too. Again, all of these elements when you're learning needs to needs some research to be done at. So now here you will see an indicator of an icon. So when you research password fields, you will find that there is an I button that is used. And I brought the wrong I button actually. So I'm gonna quickly go, you know what, to show you password field. Hmm, maybe I'm just gonna go find where it says password. Yeah, this. And I'm gonna see what they are using on sign up screens. So if the sign up screen has the word password, this is cool. Airbnb does it cool that it just simply says show, and that's the variation they're showing me. Education. I need to see the icon version. Cool. They are using this icon. I totally missed that. Yeah, I was actually talking about this icon though. That this is good. This is good UX for me. That this icon is clear that this is hidden. So I'm gonna go find this icon. I like this better. So this visibility off icon, I'm gonna copy this. I'm gonna bring it here, and I'm gonna color it. Sorry, this color. I'm gonna color it the same, and I'm gonna frame it. Sorry, wrong click. Copy this. Uh, eye off. Eye off is weird. Visibility off, and let's make it visibility on. Visibility on. Cool. Now we need to make this, lock the ratio and make this a component, duplicate it, and Control X to cut, and then I'm gonna select. So there are layers under layers, so I'm gonna have to select the right one. So this, make sure that input field is selected and paste within it. Now I'm gonna align it with in center, and I can use arrow keys to move it here on the side. So this is 20 points away from the side. So my icon can also be 20 points away from side. Here, visually, it looks a little off. So maybe 16. Again, zooming in. No, 20 was better. So again, 20 points. Okay, perfect. Now I just need to make sure one thing. In the inspiration, what color was it? So it was definitely not the darkest color they were using for the text. So here I'm gonna select this, and I'm gonna go choose the colors. Where are the colors? Select the color, and I'm gonna make it secondary because it definitely needs to look clickable, but not as dark as the labels. Perfect. So just to be clear, here this is not placeholder text anymore. When user fills the data, this form field shows the darker version of the text. That's why this is dark. This is the detail that will come in future s- challenges maybe. when we are working on more than one screen. So we have all the fields ready. Yay. Now we need the buttons. So here I wrote down that we need action to sign up and sign in. I'm gonna go make a sign up button. So this is creation screen, means the action will be create a screen, which sorry, sign up. Both have alternative meaning. So we can either have our button say the same sentence, which is create a button, create an account, or we can choose to go with sign up. For better UX, it is a good idea to not change the copy with the unless there is like a serious need. So right now I don't see any need to make it sign up. One thing I can try to make this heading say sign up and then keep the copy for the button also sign up. So you can try that, but I like create an account. Oh no, actually not. I like sign up. So I'm gonna copy this and no, create an account looks better. So when I'm confused, I'm gonna go check what other people are doing. They say create account. Definitely no. And okay, some other example. Maybe check some finance category. Welcome. Okay, this is also good. Welcome to Sweet. I actually like this way of doing things. So, what was my company's name? SpadeX. So I'm gonna copy the name. So I'm gonna go with welcome to SpadeX. That is actually good. It is not confusing. We are welcoming them, and here we are making them sign up. So now I'm gonna add. So for buttons, I want to introduce you guys to auto layout instead of adding frames and making resizing them using control and everything. So I'm gonna place this button here, the darkest variation of the colors in the text. I'm keeping them, and I'm just gonna press Shift A from the keyboard. Shift A, and it adds a frame. I'm gonna call it button, and I am going to align them at center if it is already not that. So this is the setting that comes up for the auto layout. You can have them things aligned differently. So I'm gonna align them in center. Now for the vertical padding, honestly, we don't need it. I'm gonna make it 0. Instead, I'm gonna go and add manual width. So manual height. So our button needs to be at least 48. You can't see things. So I'm gonna add the So this was the design of the buttons I chose. Means this color will be the base of the color. So I'm gonna copy this hex and fill in to my buttons. By default, when you add a fill like this, no fill, when you add it, it is FFF. So you can add it any color you want to add. Yeah, it doesn't look good, which means this color will be the base color. We need to have enough contrast. One reason it doesn't look good is that it doesn't have much contrast. This is good. So I'm not messing up any with anything. Right now we need to figure out what should be the height. So it is 48. I zoom out 100% and I see this button looks small than the form field. So form field was 56. So the rule does say that it should be at least 48 by 48. It doesn't say that it can't be bigger, so we can definitely make it bigger. So I'm gonna make the height 56. Now the design has more consistency. So another detail to think about. Now what is the width? So I forgot to bring back my grid. So here I need to align this with this. So align this, and now I have to just resize it. So I don't know where it should be placed. I'm placing it just here and see now if it needs to move. Now my inspiration button was rounded and I liked it. So I'm gonna make it round. So you can just do this or you can manually add a bigger number. So it's rounded. Perfect. I do see one thing though. Again, I'm trying to make sure, I'm trying to keep the design, keep designing 100% so you can see what is user is going to see on this size. But still sometime we need to zoom, but 16 definitely looks small in this 15, this 56 size button. What if I make it 18? Very, not very noticeable difference. What about 20? And the line height will be 24 then. Hmm, I think this is better. We'll see if it starts bothering us later, but for now, this is good. So this we have the button. Now we talked about that we will be adding primary and secondary button. So this is where it gets funny. I think that is a mistake. Um, I kept it here because initially the idea was to have the buttons, user land on this screen and select from sign up and sign in. So if they choose to fill in the data and click the sign in, this will be the primary button and small button will be the secondary, which let them switch the screen. But later I decided to go with X at the top. X means that the flow I had in mind was a little different. I don't want to go in a lot of details there, but do check how the onboarding flows work here, and you will find how what different ways we can have the screen. So in this case, in the sketch that I finally made, this X means that there is another screen before this screen, which lets user choose if they want to choose, sign up or sign in. Means we don't need the sign in screen or login screen button anymore. So this we don't need anymore. So I'm gonna just cut it so you know that that my initial planning had this button, but now I don't need it. So always keep evaluating. Now there is another detail I liked about this button is that this has a border, uh, a, a divider, I'll say, and then a text on the top. So this detail I loved it. That's why I combined both of them too. So how do we do that? Before that, I want to make this thing, which is Android's own navigation. So I want to have this, and then I will see what how much padding I need. So let's add a frame at the bottom. So to when I was exploring, most of these were coming into in size of 32. So that's what I'm choosing to go with. I'm gonna call it navigation. Actually, you know what? Android navigation. This is just empty frame right now. And I'm gonna go in. I have selected the same screen. I'm gonna go in assets and I want these icons. So I name them triangle. Okay, sorry. Click here, triangle. Place it in here. Uh, Sorry, wrong shortcut. Icons. Mm, this, and square. So I'm gonna check what order. Yeah, same order. This should be in center. So these don't need to be aligned with the grids. So when you explore the inspiration, you will see that there is a lot of spacing, or you can check your mobiles and you will see that this is not like aligned with the sides. So I'm just gonna give them good spacing. Let's say 80 points and keep them in center. And yeah, 79 points away from it. But you can see this has some serious padding issues. So I explored a little more and found out I could make it 40. Now it sort of looks good, but still I need to resize them a little bit. They're not very big in my mobile at least. So 20 is yeah, it's good. And again, I'm making sure all three of them are spaced evenly. I added a 80 number in between them. and then I'm pressing Alt to align them in center. Like all of these three, align them center. So if I just only press aligned, all three of them will uh, use each other as reference to get aligned. But if I want to align them with the frame they are in, so I pressed Alt and then all of three, they keep their position with respect to the frame they are in. So, yep. Now this is here. What I need to do is, and of course, I need to change the color of this. So they need to be a little lighter. Perfect. Now this box thing. So I'm gonna bring this here so you guys can see. There needs to be a top and bottom spacing. And when I notice, definitely the side one is more, and the vertical, like I'm calling this horizontal spacing or padding actually, padding, and this is vertical spacing or padding. So this is lesser than this. So this is 25, 24. So what I'm gonna do is add another frame around it, and I'm gonna apply auto layout again just to introduce you guys. So button group is what I'm calling it. And I see 24 and 24 points on both sides. So I'm gonna add padding of 24. This is horizontal padding. If you hover over it, it will tell you this. So I'm gonna align this on the side, and then I'm gonna drag it here. If the button it doesn't resize within it, you can go select the button and click on vertical, fill container. But yeah, now this is the padding, horizontal padding is 24. I'm gonna go a little less, which is 16 for this padding. I'm gonna use my arrows to move and stack them without 1, 2, 3, 4 distance. So if you're not sure what I'm doing, I'm gonna give it a fill, and this is what I'm doing. So the spacing right now is 8. So I'm gonna use my arrows to make sure there is no extra spacing. So this is what I was doing. This looks good. Now I need to have a border on the top. So I am gonna have a fill, and I'm gonna give it a stroke. So instead of making it confusing, I'm gonna use the same border that I used here. There is no need to introduce another shade, but you can see we don't have any border on all four sides. It is supposed to be only on the top. So I'm gonna select this element, and I'm gonna go in detail and select only top. Wonderful. Now we have everything. One thing again, this is left. So I'm gonna bring my text here. Now I'm gonna copy a text again, pressing Alt, bringing it here, and pasting using Shift Control V. So it doesn't change the formatting. I definitely need to make it regular, and I definitely need to make it lighter. So I'm gonna find, I have the layer selected. I'm gonna pick this color and make it secondary. Sweet. It looks good. Now aligning it, resizing it. Now for this specific text, I need the alignment to be center aligned. So in the typography section, you will see the alignment options, and I definitely need to add some space. Okay, this needs to go. This was heading. This needs to go. Now the spacing needs to be, I think 20 will be enough, but still I want to verify it. Yo, it's 32. Again, I'm gonna zoom it, not blindly follow what it is doing. It definitely looks off to me. So to make it more near to this, I'm gonna add 24. Since we are not using a saved sticker sheet, I'm seeing another issue which we can quickly fix in this scenario is that these two lines are too close. So you will see the problem. So you see, these two need to be linked, terms of use and privacy policy. So I'm gonna go ahead. uh, First I need to copy this fill and see if I need to increase the size, sorry, increase, change the color. Sorry about the mistakes. I definitely need to make it semi bold, and I need to add underline. Mm, Underline has some designing things, so I want to try this. This is good. Offset. Wow. I wanted to try this. Okay, this is not working because this is cutting X, Y, and Y. Yes, okay, we have a fix for this. So it says in there is an option to skip ink. So that was selected. I did not like that. So I'm just gonna mess with this and see how this turns out. 20 is a good number. Okay, not a good number. 16 is a good number. Again, I'm gonna zoom out to see how much of it shows. It looks cute though. Cute detail. I'm not sure if it matches at this point. So again, go back, see what else we can do. Offset, maximum offset. I don't think I'm gonna keep it. It's a lovely detail, but it doesn't match the vibe we are going with, unfortunately. So I'm gonna select the normal one, normal way, normal line, and thickness definitely is now 6 is good. Perfect. Now I'm gonna select terms and conditions. I'm gonna apply underline, and I want this to be 6, the same thing that I did here. And I want this to be semi bold and offset to be full, which was 25, the same settings. Now, the problem that I was saying before was, you see here, this and this needs to be clickable. So this, if I look at it at 100%, these two lines are too close. They are still readable, but if I add one more line, or if this goes for if it is going on a smaller screen, eventually we will run into this problem. Why, when making it responsive, we need to have more space between the lines. So I'm going to select this and increase the line height to 24. So it's very reasonable now. And yes, I think we are done. Can't believe it. Yeah, we definitely fixed this first. Mm, I'm gonna quickly check what people are doing. This is good detail. I'm seeing Y's, and it is a grayish thing. So we are gonna need another color of gray, make it more light somewhere here. If you guys can't see it, I'm gonna add a little bit of border. So this color I think will serve as another background. So this is background 01, means the base background. So if another thing is needed on the top of that background, I'm gonna call it BG for the space problem. So I think this will be a good addition. So I'm gonna fix the hex code and bring that same hex code here and give this a fill. And I'm gonna turn off the grid to see. So this is rounded. This definitely needs to have its rounding, the corners fixed. Oh, cute. Rounded does look better. Just there is one thing left though. So we have all the elements. Good. Now for the part on just I want to explain a decision that this is a green button, but this is I kept it gray. So why is that? Not all buttons on one screen needs to be the primary buttons. We want user to take one action and that should stand out. In our case, this is the one. And this is the action they will be looking for if they are not interested in this one. So that's why it is there, but it doesn't compete for attention with this one. So it's not even a secondary button. This is sort of a tertiary button. We will talk about them in detail in some other video. But right now, this is why I didn't just make this styling for this X button. So we have all the elements, but something is off. So here, how cute is this screen? What stands out? I'm gonna give you a few seconds to see if you figure out. If not, look at the other screens. Like they are different headings, but still they have a form field, a button, and what? Yeah, there is the heading is standing out, just in case if you didn't figure out. So we have the headings standing out. Even in this size, it looks good. I am particularly interested in these for this video, but this also looks good. But how is this making, getting my attention? Because these are different sizes. The name and the headings, they are different. This is definitely bigger and darker. So sometimes size also makes things look darker. So I'm gonna assume the colors are same for now. But yeah, we need to make it bigger. So heading. Let's make the headings bigger. So 16 is definitely not working. So I'm gonna try increasing this number by 4 points. 20. This is good, but it is not the vibe I'm looking for. So I want to go more, I want something which grabs more attention. So 24, I'm going to increase the line height so my spacing doesn't get messed up. So far, I just remember the line height number will be bigger than this, a few points bigger than the size. We won't go into details of how to calculate that, but let's make it 24 at this, or 28 at this point. Good. I'm gonna give it some spacing. Now I need to make sure the spacing is good. So I made this this top status bar 52. Now I want to place this button. So this is also clickable. This is also clickable, but 16 is a good safe point to play with when there are two clickable items near each other. Do give it a read on material design guidelines, but I need to move these two up. So I'm gonna move these two. 24 looks good. Again, if I'm not sure, I'm gonna go control 0 and see. Yeah, it looks good. This definitely needs to lose some attention. So I have given it smaller size, but that is not serving the purpose. So it is using my primary color for the text. So I'm gonna drop some, value in the color, make it secondary. Perfect. Look at this. So, yep, honestly, what if we do this? Maybe 30. Yeah, 30 is good. I wanted bigger heading. So that's why I'm playing with that. So, yep, 8 point looks good at 100%. Try increasing it a few points. So when you're not sure about something, that if it looks good or you are just getting used to it, try increasing and decreasing it, and you will see the extremes of how bad it can be, and you will find out the sweet spot. So 8 was looking good, but when I got to 12, it looked better. So when I increased more, it started to look horrible. And if I decreased, it definitely did not look good. So I'm gonna go with 12. Now these three needs, they are same houses, they need to be in a same neighborhood. So I gave it a spacing 24 a few minutes back. We wanted to do it in this video. Now we want to see. So to calculate, this is one. So I'm gonna just group it, frame it in one thing. So this is one neighborhood. Heading and supporting text. So this is one neighborhood. I'm gonna group these three so I don't lose, uh, the spacing or move something wrong. So this is one neighborhood and this is another neighborhood. Neighborhood means these things need to stick together. So I'm gonna frame them and I'm gonna call them buttons because it has buttons. So now we have three neighborhoods, these three. These two definitely needs to stay side by side. Now the distance I have added is 24. 24 was for this neighborhood. I definitely need more. So I'm going to increase a little bit and see if this works. So I'm increasing now. Anything beyond 20, I will be multiplying with 8 instead of 4 because 4 is not very noticeable after 4 difference is not very noticeable after 20. And this is 32. This is anything that is left of screen because we need this button to be near the bottom because that's what I notice in the designs. You can definitely explore why this is happening. For the sake of keeping this video short, I'm not gonna go in detail, but yeah, see how this button behaves when the keyboard opens. And now I think this screen is ready. I'm gonna bring it out, place it somewhere alone, and see. This looks off. So I'm gonna quickly see. These icons on the top are small. So I'm gonna go make them 20. Looks sweet. Just align them together. Sorry. With each other, I aligned them. And 20. I wanted this to be 20. The top spacing I'm talking about. I definitely don't want to add any other colors to this, but I do want to verify. Oh, there is another thing off. So you see, this icon is 20, this is also 20, and this is also 20. But you see, this looks small. So this is the problem with triangles. When they are placed with the other shapes, they need some, fixing and some more attention. So I can try to make zoom out and quickly go see actually, what people are doing. So I'm gonna write and write native. I hope I'm writing this right. Native navigation. So it comes in various sh- designs, but I'm gonna click on this and see. This is definitely small. Actually, I'm gonna go check my mobile. Hmm. Okay, let's see what we can do. So what I want to do is don't want to make this any smaller than 20. I want to go resize it a little bit, make it this one 20, fix the spacing. Does it look good? No. So there is another thing we can try. So here I placed all these icons with together, and with each icon there is a frame and there is a vector within it. So this vector is 20 by 20 for an icon which is 24 by 24, but this is small. Okay, I found the problem actually. So what it is 2 points away. So I'm gonna place 2 points away and see how big I can make this. So one size I can make 20, the other triangle has some interesting alignment problems in other than sizing. We also run into the situation where we want to align it in a good way. So you see, I have placed it 3 points away from one side, but 5 points away from one side, but now it looks very aligned in the center. So this is another detail with the triangles. Do give it a read. So I just made the element within a little bigger and now they look equal. So this is something you must do after you are done making the design. And now again, one extra thing that I'm going to do is to select the screen and see if I see any random color I have used accidentally or anything. Sweet. So good. Now we need to decorate this screen. So taking you guys back to my challenge one, we did something like this, placing our challenge into a screen and giving it a design. So I'm just gonna copy this. and bring it here. Place this design here. I'm gonna, so I don't mess up with this. You can see how I prepared the screen in the previous design. I'm gonna copy this, Control C, and replace this card, paste to replace. Now, not messing up anything at this point. I want to do the match the branding. So anything that is blue will now be green, not readable. So we're gonna go choose darker green. Sweet. Now we are gonna match. If you want to match the colors, you can go ahead and match them. If you don't want to, honestly, I encourage you guys to focus on these details because two different blacks definitely look different at some one point or other. This is definitely changing, which is day two sign up screen, day two sign up screen, design challenge. Now let's explore what we can do with this. I didn't use any images, so let's get rid of this. I definitely need to move this here. Let's keep it 100 points from the bottom and centered here. What are the things that we can do? So there was one inspiration I forgot to explore when I was working in the day one lecture, day one video. So what if I do this? Let's try what we can do. I want to give this screen some rounded corners. So let's give it 24 corners. And for now, I'm gonna copy this same stroke, like to give myself a starting point and give it a light stroke so I can distinguish where it is different from the other screen. Now in Figma, we have the brushes. So I'm just gonna go select a slide, something. I'm just gonna explore. So anything that looks like a brush will do. Epic. Okay. The color I want is this. Now, let's see what happens. Okay, not good. We want it thicker, where not this thick. So this will require some experimentation. Okay, let's see what we can do with this. What if we make it thicker? I'm gonna have to explore this option. I'm gonna pause my video and see what we can do because main thing is done. You can do your own stuff. You know what? Actually, not. Let's not pause it. I think I am not liking the strokes it is giving me. I need to explore that more. So instead, I'm gonna go see here, copy paste it here, and try something similar. It doesn't have to be like this. So let's use rectangles actually. Make them rounded and give them the color, same color, and make them a little fat, 64. And I'm gonna give it an angle, place it in the center behind the screen, make them bigger. Okay, sweet. So reducing the angle, making it a little more wider. So 100 looks good. So yeah, I didn't like the stroke parts in the brushes for this particular use. So I think this should work out. So I'm just trying to make similar shape now. So make it small, move it, make it small, do this. Now make another copy. Just give it an angle and then move it. No, angle doesn't look good. So I'm just gonna place three of these like this. And then with this, I'm gonna make this to connect these two. Some resizing. Hmm, maybe making it a little fat. You can choose any method that I shared in the previous challenge. It's just I wanted to explore this one. Some more angle shift, moving below, making it a little fat, connecting like this. I think it's working. You know what? I'm gonna edit this more. I'm just editing these points. Hmm. Now this one, another copy at the bottom. I think I uselessly made this video bigger for by adding this particular piece. But I want you guys to work on some, presenting the designs you're working with, uh, like this. So maybe I hope this is going to help you the way I intended. Let's make this one bigger. Edit this one, like this. I'm just gonna edit some shapes here. Okay, this is not looking good when it is we make it bigger. This one can go beyond like this. Now let's edit this. Okay, it looks reasonably presentable. So I might add something else in it, but you can experiment with these shapes. What we are gonna do is, again, if you have not done this already, click on the export, select PNG, and select 2x. And if this option is not selected, do check this, show in the exports. So the white area behind it is, you can see it. And you can also refer to the video, day one video, in which I add some shadows because I will be doing some more experimentation with this setup. I don't like it at this point. So yeah, if you see the difference, I will add some shadows and tweak the shapes a little bit. And yep, that's it from my side. See you guys in another video.